Today we're talking with George Scott. George and his wife Betsy help with godly play within the children's ministry on Sunday mornings. So George, tell us a little bit about how you and your family got to Myers Park United Methodist Church.
Yeah, I grew up at Myers Park Church. I think I joined the church not long after my family moved to Charlotte when I was in lower school. So I've been a member of Myers Park for quite some time. When I came back to Charlotte after being away for college, came back to the church, and I married someone who was Methodist from another Methodist church. But we made this our church home together, and then as the kids came along, we've continued to be members here and continue to plug into the various ministries. But it's been a long time since I first started coming to church here.
Yeah. So did you get plugged into children's ministries as your children were coming up? I mean, did it start right away?
I did. But before we had children, Betsy and I both participated in the youth ministry program. We did the 6th grade group for 4 or 5 years.
Nice.
When we had our own children, we backed away from that. But as soon as our kids started going through the children's ministries here at church, it did open our eyes to all the opportunities to be involved in children's ministries. So that is probably what first and foremost brought us.
Yeah. And now,
part of it.
Now you guys help with godly play on Sunday mornings. For people who don't know what godly play is, can you describe it a little bit?
It's sort of I guess it's an alternative way to teach Sunday school. It's based somewhat on the tenets of Montessori learning, where in addition to telling the story, you also use props or toys to teach the lessons. It sort of helps it come to life for the children. We usually do in the classroom a group lesson together where we'll have one story to tell. The kids will watch, but then there's a part of the class after the group lesson where they can work individually, and they can draw something based on what they've learned. They can also go pull materials from prior lessons and recreate those and tell the story to themselves or tell the story that they had learned to another kid to continue to emphasize that lesson. So I think the kids being able to use all senses with learning, I think it really does help bring the stories to life.
Yeah. So of all the places in children's ministry that you could serve, how did you guys settle down in godly play?
Well, the godly play thing is interesting, and really my involvement in godly play really comes from Betsy's involvement. She told me the story about how godly play came to the church, and we were at a Hot Wednesday dinner one night, and George Ragsdale noticed my daughter wearing a necklace made out of soda straws, and he asked about it. And she said that she made it at her Montessori school. And that triggered a memory that George had, which is that there's this Montessori-based Sunday school curriculum. Yeah. And he mentioned it to Betsy. And Betsy has a lot of interest in Montessori, and it caused her to go spend some time learning about it. She ended up being at a conference where Sarah Sumner was as well, and the subject came up again. And Sarah made it known in that conference that that's been a long-held dream of hers to have that curriculum brought to Myers Park Church. So after that meeting, Betsy told Sarah that if she needed someone to help coordinate that, she'd be willing to do it. And I guess that's been about 2.5 years ago when the church did their first godly play class for kindergarten. And now there are 2 kindergartens, 2 first grades, 1 second grade. Next year, all of kindergarten, first and second, will be godly play.
Fantastic. It's very cool how ministries kind of develop that way, how people have a similar vision, and when they come together,
it really was an example of God bringing people together to make something happen.
Yeah. What's something that you've learned along the way as you guys have been doing this?
I think certainly seeing the difference that the style of learning makes to the children has been fun. We hear from a lot of parents that the kids ask to go to Sunday school because they really want to be part of the class. Just seeing them respond to the story, seeing the work they create after hearing the story and what it means to them. It's really interesting. So that's been a lot of fun. Seeing it grow and prosper at church has been fun. Again, there was really, it started with one class. I don't think anyone had a sense for how it was going to go, but when they did kind of the enrollment for the first godly play class, there wasn't enough capacity for all the kindergartners to do it, but they learned pretty quickly that there was more demand than just one class. So the first year it was sort of on a waiting list, but now the entire curriculum for kindergarten and first grade is godly play, and moving towards second as well.
It's fantastic. There's some great artwork through the hallways that the kids have done, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
What's one of the things that you would kind of describe as a success? One of the things that kind of maybe surprised you or has gone really well?
I think hearing what a difference and how much it means to the children has been fun. My own daughter has been a part of it since the beginning, and just some of the things that she comes home having learned. It's pretty amazing. Just the way the stories, the way she connects with the stories, the things that she takes from them, sometimes kind of catch me off guard.
Yeah.
I can't believe. I don't think I knew as much as she knows about some of these stories when I was that age, and just what it means to her, and kind of learning that over and over through that hands-on approach.
Yeah.
I think it's fun to see how it's worked through her.
That's amazing. It's such a great ministry, and I hear Sarah talk about, as you mentioned, the attendance and how it's been growing, and kids just want to be a part of it. It's one of the blessings of our church.
I know
sure.
we tracked kind of in that first year. Yes, if we were seeing it unfold, did we notice children coming more often? And we did observe that the kids in the Godly Play class did have a better track record as far as attendance, and they seemed to come more regularly. And again, heard from parents that their kids were asking, "Hey, can we go to church today? Because I want to go to Sunday school." So that's fun to know that kids are asking for it.
Yeah, it's great. What certainly there are people in our church who are considering getting plugged into the ministries of our church, and maybe hesitating for whatever reason. How would you encourage them? What would you say to them to encourage them to get plugged into the ministries here?
Yeah, I think that if you there's a lot that goes on at Mars Park Church, but very little of it would happen without a lot of volunteer help. It's amazing how many people it takes just to put on something like Sunday school every Sunday morning. When you drop your children off, you got to have someone there to accept them and to care for them and teach them for that hour. And if no one volunteered, we'd have a real problem making that happen. And it takes everybody. Everybody has to plug in, in some way with their church. And I guess you need to find a way that that feels right for you. But you really need to be part of your church, and you need to find a way to do it that's meaningful for you.
Yeah, the way that you're gifted and what you have to offer. Well, thanks for sharing some of your story with us today. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to be here.